As we grow older, the significance of the small, unspoken moments of support and love from our fathers often becomes more apparent. These are the moments that shape our lives, instill values, and guide us even when we don't realize it. Yet, amidst the hustle and bustle of life, these moments of gratitude often go unexpressed. So, this Father's Day, we want to take a step back and acknowledge the quiet sacrifices and unwavering support that our fathers have provided.
There's a lot to hate and a few to love about him.
Everyone can be a father, but it takes much more to be a dad.
Well, I lost my father when I was small, so I really don't have much memories about him.
I admire everything of my father. I mean, like, there's nothing particular.
That he was guiding me through until now. So that's something that I admire the most.
His brilliance, his forward thinking, his unique out of the box thinking that sometimes looks like, why is he even going along this line? But then 2 years, max 3 years later, you see that what he envisioned at that point, that brilliance was undoubtedly what we should have done. And no one else has managed to impress me over the years with some brilliance like that.
So it's like being there for your kids when they really need you.
So he's very resilient. My mother was literally a father to me. She was there with me all these years. Up until now, I have never felt that I didn't have my father in my life.
You're the provider, you're the motivator, you're the rock they stand on.
Stand up for myself.
He has always been a very honest person, his workplace also, and he has taught me how to carry that work ethic with me whenever I would start working in a company as well. So to be an honest person would be that advice that I got.
What I really learned from my mother is that there is nothing impossible in life if you have a strong will.
Well,
I love the way how he's always supportive of anything that I need to be doing. As in, like, see, when I was schooling, I wanted to play a lot of cricket and I paid very less attention to my studies, but he was always supportive of that, and he never like forced me to study and do good in my studies and all that.
He inspired me a lot to be independent and be my own self.
Always he tells me whenever there is a challenge that you have to take forward, he always says, don't fret, things could have been worse.
He told me to be myself and be honest whatever I do.
to be a good man,
Timeliness, getting anywhere with discipline and time is something that he always sort of brought it forward, and something that I have carried all my 50 years in my life, and as a father I try to inculcate that to my kids.
Three key things that he has told me. One is to be punctual, which I clearly am working on. Second one is to never assume anything. Always ask, clarify, look at it intelligently, look at it logically, and see what best and how solution oriented you can be, and that things will not be the way they are right now. And the third thing that he has always told me is take the high road, be the better person, and always do the right thing, no matter what consequences you may have to face or difficulties, that you'll always be the best there is to be.
He was always a so hard-working person, and everything that he has done in his life has been for myself, my brother, and my mother. So I felt that about him.
Okay, so
She never gave up in moments that I felt down. She was always there to lift my spirit. And I think I haven't given her much credit for that.
I think I've been grateful for everything that he has done.
So I remembered once I asked from him a gift which cost mostly huge cost, and he, without hesitation, he brought me at that point. But I didn't admire that to that level.
Yes, my father has done lots of things that have touched me, because my father was somebody who was like sort of, he used to do things and not talk about it. So like something that I would still sort of carry in my heart is when I first went to university, he came with me to let me. I mean, he accompanied me there. So he left me in the university, but he had very little time to spend with me till I really settled down. So he went away very quickly. I mean, like within a day he was gone. But apparently I heard when he came back to Sri Lanka, some of his friends said when they met up with him, he was in tears that he had just left me and come off. So I really felt kind of what he would have, deep down in his heart, what I would have been as a son would have meant to him.
There are so many, including spending hours in a car waiting for me, being my permanent bank for everything, but mostly just being there. He has always given me the sense that everything is always going to be okay.
In audit firm for 4 years, so that was my father's choice. So initially, my lecturers who taught me didn't give me the insight of working in audit firm is the best choice that I can get. So I went to the audit firm because of my father. So now I realize that to my career, it helped me a lot to come this far.
Before I seated in 4 levels, he was don't let me to go out with my friends because I was teaching my classes. And when I got my LSAs, he was crying non-stop.
That was mostly because of his way of interacting with us, because he was not the most close person to us, us in the sense me and my brother also.
I think as a child, I felt like, it's her role to be like that. As an adult now, I understand that they also have to have a lot of effort put in to raise their children. So now I understand that we should be grateful for what they did in our lives.
So I wish I could tell him that, but every time that I've tried to convey that message to him, he has always been very, evasive and okay, that's always my job, I was just doing my job and all that. He takes it lightly, but it means a world to us.
I said my thank you, but I didn't say I love him, and I admire that gift so much. I think basically I thought that I have time to express that later. I said
Because he was really strict. That's why I was not able to be grateful to him at that time.
Dads are the same, and they maintain this tough character around him, which makes it a little difficult for us to approach them and tell them how we actually feel about them.
Yeah, when we were young, I think we have this sort of sometimes we create certain barriers between our parents, but later on we realize that those barriers doesn't exist. But when you realize those things, sometimes you are too late.
Actually, I did, and I have been doing it ever since. Because I think early on I realized that he thinks differently, and he believes differently, he envisions differently. And it was not a problem for me to acknowledge that either. Of course, there are rifts, it's normal. But I have always acknowledged it, and I have realized that there's so much I can learn from him. I'm so grateful I'm still learning.
Well, always there is this barrier, father and son. So as well as, sometimes you don't feel very comfortable trying to express everything deep down, especially when it's something, emotions that touch you. So maybe you didn't. And sometimes you regret when there are no more that you could have had better times with them, where you could have really been much closer than what you were?
I didn't express enough of my love to him when he was alive. So that was something I think I should have done more often.
I love him, and I'm so grateful to him for being a good father to me and guiding me until now.
I would say that I love him from the deepest place of my heart, and I feel sorry that I've never been able to communicate that to him fully. I just feel that I have never communicated it enough to him.
So I like to thank my father for being the silent soldier in our family, so doing so much of sacrifices.
That I listen to a little bit more would be the start. And I admire you and I hero worship you for everything you have done over the years, not just for me, for a lot of people, from your life at Haley's for 30 odd years. And that has instilled so many values, so many friendships and so many memories in me. And I admire you for everything you are, everything you've been and everything you ever will be.
I wish he is alive now, and I would say that he's the most wonderful person in my life.
I would say that he was my hero, and he will be my hero for almost all the time.
I want to tell her thank you for being with there in my life all these years, putting up with me in all the difficult times. I'm happy and so grateful that you were my mother and also my father.
Well, I like to tell him he was a wonderful dad, and if I could spend a little more time with him, having a good drink and talking about old times, I'll treasure it very much.
Our fathers often go unthanked for the countless sacrifices and support they provide. This Father's Day, let's take a moment to express that unspoken gratitude. Happy Father's Day.